So a preceptor has no business to judge and say, oh, this is undeserving. Whoever sits is deserving by virtue of the fact that he has come there or she has come there. Otherwise they would not have come. So presence is the authority for that presence.
We are an Air Force officer, Master. I think he came to Madras also. He went in for a medical examination just before getting his flying certificate. He found his corpuscles levels, height and brain corpuscles were disproportionate, and he was diagnosed as an early case of leukemia. Then he softened by saying, "I'm on a very early stages in development." I said, "That is a great grace." He went to the command hospital and managed to get his treatment done, and he was cleared in the sense that he can go back and work. He come and met you also. And I found that
Babuji only said one thing. He said, you must develop the capacity to read a condition. No, the condition may be because of disease, because of other things. Yeah. But suppose a man is carrying a weight. It may be gold, it may be stones, it may be anything. If a plane says 20 kilos maximum, 20 kilos maximum. And if they say jettison cargo, plane in danger of crashing, you jettison whether it is gold or mud. So, for life, what is valuable is not valuable for existence. You see, Sat, Chit, Ananda. It talks of existence, consciousness and bliss, not life. That's why in my talks I say life is when existence becomes encapsulated in a body. We are living, but my soul is existent, it's eternal. It is living in this poor body because it has become caught in this trap. How to liberate it?
what was very heartening, Master, of this case was that his faith in our system, and that probably worked wonders for him.
Faith only works.
It worked wonders. And in the sense
We had lunch, one of the only places I ever went out. The restaurant is on the 53rd, 52nd floor, 56th floor of a building in which the hotel starts at the 52nd floor and goes up to the 84th floor. From our restaurant, all skyscrapers surrounding, they were all below us. 80 floors, 40 floors, 60 floors, you know. It is not China. It is in China, but it is not China.
what is the ambience of spirituality then?
Good. Pinning your Chinaman is made of preceptor. Jackish.
First time
He is very enthusiastic.
So, sir, he is working in some company. There are 4 or 5 trainees. They should also be made preceptors to spread the message.
Let them come.
Yes, first.
You see, every tree has many branches but one trunk.
Yes.
You have to create the trunk first, Ilya.
You could understand any Chinese now?
Oh, no, Chinese. Impossible. Chinese. I can even manage Telugu. Chinese is impossible.
Impossible.
Absolutely. I mean, there are people who are learning and doing, but you can learn to speak fluent French, German, English, so many languages. Chinese is impossible. Because everything has 4 inflections. And if there's a change of inflection, the meaning changes. Life, 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 life. And which one is real life, you don't know.
So you feel it will flourish there in this ambience of
Spirituality. Spirituality will flourish everywhere because it is God's kingdom. We have to open. There is no such thing as spiritual success or failure. It depends on how well we are able to go into their hearts and open it. That's why I kept repeating, failure or success is precipitous. So spirituality, is very, very simple. Surrender and the job is over. But that again, like in Vaishnavism, it has been ritualized. Yeah. Samashrayanam பண்ணிட்டு. The true surrender doesn't happen. It's only a ritualistic surrender.
Can we trust that intentions, political intentions?
You see, it is a long job, time consuming, but it can be short in the way we work. Suppose we trust completely. In English they say trust begets trust. If you begin with mistrust, how will you create trust in them? Not possible. That is what they say. A spiritual worker is free, surrendered, knows nothing, is not himself, therefore no security, has nothing to think about himself, therefore no pride and prestige. You go as a soul in a body and work. Our preceptor should be able to do it, no? Number, we start with prejudices. So we had a Iyengar, Seshadri, very close to your father. I had many people from my factory, my workers, my watchmen, all abhyasis, sitting next to me in satsang. My father, Seshadri, complained to Babuji. He is bringing riffraff into the mission. So Babuji said, what is riffraff? He said, all these watchmen. He said, Seshadri, Parthasarathi is the only person who can do it. You can bring only people like yourself. No? It was a slap in the face for Seshadri. Which is true. He only brought Iyengars, cultivated people, educated people, Whereas Peri story, அவர் வச்சிருந்தார்.
Yesterday I was telling to him, Master, the same, get into that one to help and then that's
Help illa, sir. Again, this was to the, to the great merit of that Guru who could see what the other man was. He may be a Panchama by birth or whatever. He is a farmer by birth. Yeah, he may be a plowman. Even as a farmer, there are subdivisions. அதெல்லாம் பார்த்துட்டு எப்படி முடியும்? So I used to argue with his father, who was an ardent Vaishnava. I said, sir, with all due respect, if you look at all the rishis, where are the Brahmins? Have you ever thought
But Ramanujan,
Ramanuja is not considered a Rishi. I am talking about Rishis, Munis in our Hindu ancient tradition, Vishwamitra, Vasishtha. Where was the Brahmin? There was no Brahmin.
Alvars, they are also earlier vintage Avalokon.
That is our perception of them.
But they sang in praises of the Almighty in the most pious and benevolent way.
No, but piety, adherence to the law, truthfulness, Kaupena Shuddhi, all this does not entitle you to saintliness. Saintliness is purity here.
And they even claim to have shaking hands with the Almighty. I mean, they at least the
You cannot, because Almighty does not have hands.
No, but I'm saying, visit his courtyard.
You see, there is the story of Vyasa going with his grandson, Shuka. Shuka was walking ahead, stark naked in divine consciousness. Women bathing in the pool all came up naked and stood before him, like this. They didn't see Vyasa coming 100 yards behind, old man. When he came, they all jumped into the river and covered themselves up to the neck. He chided them, that young fellow going naked. You shameless hussies, he must have said, You expose yourself, raise your hands in salutation, and when I come, you are covering yourselves up. They were afraid that he would curse them. They said, Oh Maharshi, you are a great man. Then why this difference? He said, you see that you are conscious still of sex. For him, there is no consciousness, there is nothing in the nature except God. There is a parallel Sufi story of a great Sufi master, to whom a young pretty girl went as a disciple. For 3 days they were discoursing, and she had her burqa off. 4th day, he just caught her hand and said, Oh, you have such nice bangles. She immediately drew her burqa down. He said, Why 3 days you have been exposed? She said, But now you have started noticing me. So, on the way, where is it that the line is to be drawn? So, in the third, na kunchu to the camera padada,
For an ordinary mortal to cross that threshold, Master, it is a very...
Aren't we all ordinary mortals?
None of us are ordinary, Master. There is one exception.
No, we are all ordinary mortals.
Evolve, it's a process.
You evolve only by giving up. But we are adding more and more.
Master, we consider you divine in human form.
Eh?
We consider you as divine in human form.
You can't. All of us are divine in human form. Only thing, more and more of that divinity has to be exposed and humanity concealed. It is like turning a bottle inside out, if it is possible. Magician sticks. They take a tennis ball and do this, and the furry side goes inside and the rubber side comes outside. It's a change into the 4th dimension to bring it back. No, you can't do it in 3 dimensions. And the way, give up, give up, give up. My father used to say, because my grandmother was a widow, my grandfather died in 1914 when my father was 9. And she brought the 3 or 4 brothers up. And he got a job eventually in Bombay. After 2 years in Bombay, under crop because he has to work, he came back, found the house open but the grandmother missing. They told him she's gone to the tank, village tank. So he followed to the tank. She was just coming, full chipty with her pot of water, He looked at him and walked by. She didn't recognize him. He followed her to the house and said, Amma, don't you recognize me? He said, Rajagopala, where is the mamta and the mother love? He said, go and get your kudumi back and then come. You see, this was considered very pure, very strict. And yet she loved him. It's like talking of Julius Caesar, And yet he was an honorable man. Mark Antony's speech, you see. Oh, my phone. Oh, yes. Hello. Good afternoon.
We were so happy that you'll be here one extra day. And now you're-
you say that.
My dear girl, because this is due to Archana, I should not thank her. I was coming only on Sunday.
But you were
Please.
on Tuesday?
Could I have done 10% of the work I did yesterday? You should be concerned with my work, not about how long I stay.
Why you have to work all the time, Master? You don't have to work all the time.
If I had come on Sunday, you would not have had me for lunch in your house also.
But you can rest.
You can rest now. Why work?
No, I have worked. Where is question of rest? You see, like time is, the classical definition of time is the interval between two events. Yeah,
2
years.
Even.
two events. Similarly, rest is the interval between two pieces of work.
एक दिन rest कीजिए master.
I am coming most probably permanently to Bangalore. And then you will all curse me because. But 3 days your husbands are happy to loan you to the mission. Then your husband will say, "Eppudu vartunnaruya?" This is a thing which happens with every new marriage. The bridegroom comes for the first Diwali. He is enthusiastically welcomed. Of course, it means money, because even the return ticket, father-in-law has to pay. But son-in-law is not saying anything. 3 days, 4 days, 5 days. Father-in-law, mother-in-law, father-in-law gets nervous. He tells his wife, Shanina. He says, how can I ask son-in-law? So he says, Gauri, the daughter, when is your husband going? I go, Papa, you have just come 4 days. Conflict of interest. No, just ask, reservation is difficult nowadays. We have to do 1 week in advance. But daughter will not budge. First of all, it is disrespectful, inhospitable. And she wants him. So one day they are all having, feast and then Vatrapaka, Tabulam. Slowly, father-in-law says, Maplaya, I hope you are going to stay here at least 3 weeks with us. No, father-in-law, why should we limit it? Let us decide. No, I was just asking because nowadays the reservations are online. Do you have a computer? No. I wish I had one. Daughter says, Appa, buy one. So one question, when are you going? One computer you have to buy. So when silence is golden, don't speak.
Master, we are all good husbands, so what we'll do is we'll send them to work and we'll stay with them.
But you can manage anything.
I have stayed here weeks, once.
Only you said 5 days, at least 5 days.
For Babuji, somebody wrote, Revered Master, we all love you so much. We wish you will come and stay for at least 3 days with us. Babuji said, Bekare phek do. I said, Babuji is inviting you. He said, when he says 3 days, do you think I am going to his house and stay for 1 year? He doesn't mean it. Another house, they made 28 items, Dawat. I used to go with him. Parsati tumbi chalo. And then he didn't eat. Suddenly he would get ant or cubs or something, आप बुरा तो नहीं मानेंगे अगर न खाए नहीं बाबूजी आपके सेहत ही सबसे so he'll get up. So in the car I would ask him what happened. He said they don't want me to eat. It's all patatop, you see. A man who loves me and wants me to be with him forever will give me what he eats. This is for a day. You see how values are to be judged. In our worldly life, oh, he gave us a grand dinner, sir, 56 pieces of oil, but of course we couldn't eat. But look at his heart. All our values are topsy-turvy. That is why what you said, how to change, it becomes so difficult. Famous story in the Mullah Nasruddin in Sufi stories, you know. The Mullah is invited by the Sheikh, the emperor. He stopped at the gate. He said, I have the emperor's invitation for dinner. He said, no, you're not dressed. Bob, you might go to dinner, you see. So he went back and put on royal robes, velvet coat and, filigreed hat and things like that. He was seated on the right of the emperor, in position of honor. As soon as he was welcomed and seated in the emperor's side, he got up, took off his turban, put it on the chair, took off his jacket, put it on the chair, and walked. Emperor said, where are you going, Mullah Sahib? He said, only these were invited. I was not invited. So, down to earth.
Master, once I asked you about serving non-vegetarian because the rest of the family are non-vegetarian. You told me serve what you eat. So I stopped making anything non-vegetarian, even dal is not served in my house and all. So, but then at times, when I take them to a club or this thing and the NRI relations come, I feel guilty.
Why do you feel guilty?
Because non-vegetarian is a part of the buffet lunch or something.
No, there is no such thing. It is an importation. Suppose they offer it to you.
I won't eat.
There is a limit to all this nonsense. Up to this and so far, no more. See? Understand? I have seen Hindus, Brahmins being accused by Westerners of saying, you won't poison me, but you won't poison yourself. Why do you serve me drinks and you drink orange juice? No, sir. That means you are superior to us. Henry, shall we go? And they get out. So where equality ends, hospitality ends, what begins, we don't know. So stick to what you know.
Master, what would you put as eternal values, which doesn't change with time, which is not transitory, which is not affected by personalities? What would you put those cardinal values?
Only constant remembrance. It has no values.
When you said erosion of values, I was just saying, what would be...
That is in our worldly sense. Constant remembrance. For progress, simple rules of the road. When you fly, there are different rules. Now your road is not 24 feet. It is a corridor in space, supposedly 10 miles into which the plane can, because it's subject to so many pressures. Only this is governed by the air traffic control, elevation. When you become an astronaut, everything is controlled. Even when you have to sleep, when you have to wake up, when you can urinate, if at all. No? So the more the freedom, the less the real freedom. The more the spiritual freedom, the less the temporal freedom. To change the language.